Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Rahul Agarwal, founder of Coffeeza, a premium brand of Italian coffee, capsule and machines. Rahul is a graduate of both Purdue University and Babson College. Hi Rahul, welcome to ELI.
Hi Priya, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'd request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Sure. So my name is Rahul. I did my studies in the US, like Priya just mentioned. And after that, I came back to India and joined my family business. And then I left the family business in 2017 to launch Coffeeza. And what Coffeeza is really about, in a nutshell, Coffeeza makes it really easy to enjoy great tasting cafe style coffee at home. So the product range includes coffee capsules and coffee machines. And we have also launched drip coffee bags a couple of months back. So that's what we do.
What is the kind of scale you have achieved so far? How many people are enjoying your coffee every day?
So our scale is still not that big. We have some 2,000 plus customers, but the good thing is we have a repeat clientele who are quite passionate about our products and they keep coming back to us. So that's something which we feel good about.
Uh-huh.
As
What
a
is
team, sorry, as a team, we are about 15 people today. And and the best part is we are bootstrapped and we are a profitable business.
what is the problem statement that you are solving as a startup?
As you know, most people like enjoying cafe style coffee. So if you ask any person what's your favorite coffee, they'll tell you we like drinking a cappuccino or a latte or an americano.
Uh-huh.
And to drink such beverages, you actually have to go to a cafe, get in queue, and place an order, and then finally get to drink it.
Mhm.
What if you're somebody who wants to enjoy this at home and you don't want to compromise on having great coffee at home? So that's the problem we are solving with our coffee products.
Okay. Now tell us about the journey you have taken to build this interesting venture. I took the liberty to visit your website and I saw very nice coffee machines and a interesting way to make coffee. Can you tell us in detail about how different things fell into places so that
Sure.
we can enjoy your coffee today?
No. So my journey again started, when I was studying in the US. I spent 5 years studying in the US. After the US, and when I came back to India, I ended up joining my family business. And one thing that happened, which I'm thankful for, is that I got to travel extensively around the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Europe. Now, I have been a huge coffee lover all my life. One interesting, funny story is that I had a car in as a student, and my car's number plate had caffeine written on it.
Okay.
So I have been a huge coffee lover all my life, and I have been very keenly observing the coffee trends and innovations in different parts of the world and following them very closely. And I saw this opportunity in India. In India, we knew that players like Cafe Coffee Day and Starbucks had opened several stores across India, and people were really enjoying these cafe style beverages. So we saw this opportunity, and I then so I eventually decided to leave my family business in 2017. Coffeeza was not the first idea that came to my mind. Actually, I was looking at broadly, I was looking at ideas in the food, beverage, nutrition space because that space excited me. I wanted to do something that excited me. As simple as that.
Uh-huh.
So I spent a lot of time on the internet. I spent 6 months doing a lot of research. I looked at different business ideas. Uh, Spent a lot of time researching on the internet. I traveled to a lot of exhibitions where I spoke to a lot of people. So this period of 6 months was this journey where I was just absorbing information, from everywhere and trying to kind of put together things in my mind. Uh, and then I jumped from one business idea to another. When you're evaluating a business idea, you think, I don't know if it'll work, it'll not work, and you kind of get scared or chicken out at the end. So I think I was getting afraid of taking the plunge. I had already taken a very major step of quitting my family business, and for me, I didn't want the embarrassment of going back, having to join it back. Because I had told publicly to everyone that I'm not coming back. And so then Coffeeza, the idea of Coffeeza was again brewing in the back of my mind, and it eventually came to light, and I decided to dive right in, and we launched these coffee machines and coffee pots that actually allow you to brew beverages like cappuccino under a minute or so. And it's been a great journey.
You said you did some market research and you came up with several ideas before fixating on Coffeeza. Uh, can you tell us what different ideas that you found that you could have done, and what was the findings of your market research about Indian coffee market?
So I looked at probiotic foods. So if you know Yakult, I was very interested in the Yakult, doing something similar along those lines. I even visited the Yakult factory just as part of my research. I looked at baby food products. That was a segment which was really exciting for me. I looked at a lot of nutritional beverages space. So I was looking at a lot of new age interesting ideas in food, beverage, nutrition, and they're all great ideas. Even I could have picked any of them. I feel I would have done something decent in either of them. Like I said, I just kept finding reasons to didn't have the enough confidence to go for them, but then eventually ended up picking Coffeeza. I saw an opportunity in the Indian coffee market. India has predominantly been a tea drinking nation, but the modern Indian, the millennial, he is well traveled. He is exposed to international uh, cultures. We have with coffee shops opening around the world, with lifestyles becoming super busy. Uh, Coffee is the go-to beverage to get the energy and get you through the day. So I saw that opportunity, and I know that coffee as a segment, as a category, is only bound to grow in India, and just dived right in.
Rahul, now tell us about your journey as an entrepreneur. Like, how did you uh, find the right people to build the venture? How did you arrange the funds, and different sort of steps that you took to build this venture?
So one lesson for potential entrepreneurs: you think that you need a lot of funds to start a business. You actually don't. I can't disclose the figure, but I started with a very small amount of funds, which my family was willing to assist me with. And had it not been for my family, I could have gone to my friends, relatives, and I'm sure they would have pooled in the money to give me that initial starting capital. Because we keep hearing in the news that some entrepreneur raises a seed capital from a VC, $1 million, $2 million. I think it sets a very wrong expectation for new entrepreneurs. You don't need a lot of capital to start. What you need is a good idea and to be able to execute it properly. In terms of having the right team members, that's something I strongly believe in. And the only way I have done it, I'll tell you the way I have done it. I went slow about it. I was extremely careful at the time of hiring, and even after hiring the person, I would keep checking for attitude and whether this person is learning or not. I didn't go for expensive hires. I went for relatively college graduates, and even today my team is comprised of very young people, and they've honestly learned at the job. I didn't hire people from IITs, IIMs, so to say. So, and essentially what you really look for is good attitude. If somebody has the good attitude, he will learn, he will pick it up. He needs to have your team, the people in your team need to have the hunger. As simple as that.
What did you say the one criteria that you'd like to see in any person that you'd like to hire or onboard them on in your venture?
So I'll tell you, the main criteria that I look for is a good positive attitude. I think someone who shows confidence and good positive attitude gives me the assurance that he will be able to learn and do the job independently. Because I am very particular to my team that if a work is assigned to you, that is your responsibility. Don't expect to come to me for complaints or problems. Come to me with solutions. As simple as that. So someone who's a solution finder, not a problem finder.
Understood. So you were speaking about how you initially shortlisted many ideas and then selected coffee as a segment. But after you have selected the segment and after you have selected on the business model, did you pivot the model in between somewhere?
We are experimenting with different strategies. For instance, when we launched a simple outright purchase model that if you want Coffeeza, you have to buy the machine and buy the capsules. Now we are experimenting with a new approach where we say that you become a Coffeeza capsules customer for 1 year and we'll give you the coffee machine for free. So we are experimenting with different strategies, but we have not left the original model of outright purchase. And along the way, we have launched new products. For example, the drip coffee bags, which I'm talking about, they are for people who like drinking filter coffee, American style filter coffee, and they don't require a coffee machine. So that's extension of our product range, but till now we have not pivoted our business model.
What are the different challenges they have that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
There have been several challenges. So very recently, COVID has been a challenge because we bring our coffee machines and coffee capsules we import them into India. So COVID had completely disrupted our supply chain, and we had to, keep our customers under control, in the sense that we had to tell them that stocks will be here soon. Please be patient with us. So we had to try and calm them down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a broader challenge would be that we entered a small appliance and a food category both at the same time. So people either launch only go into an appliances business or go into a food venture. We entered two verticals at the same time, and it was learning how to navigate both these verticals because both have their own, uh, you know, both have their own issues, challenges. So you had to learn both about them. But yeah, that's broadly what have been the challenges for us.
What is the big deal about Italian coffee? Why did you choose a niche if you could have gone after an entire coffee market?
Right. I think as an entrepreneur, you have to find a space where you can be competitive, where you will have a USP and customers will be happy to buy from you. If I had picked a segment where somebody big like a Cafe Coffee Day or a Starbucks is already very strong, it would have been impossible for a startup like mine to compete with them. So I picked a space where I saw a niche audience
Uh-huh.
who are willing to pay for top quality coffee and coffee machines and to grow from there. So this is a space where, today I can confidently say we are among the top players in the country. Why Italian coffee? Because Italy is famous for coffee worldwide. The coffee culture internationally grew from Italy, and we wanted to bring that culture to India. And again, it resonated with the kind of audience we are targeting, who are happy to pay a little premium for the great Italian coffee that we are offering.
Okay. Let's say there are Italian coffee lovers in our country, uh, and they are in the premium segment. How do you find them? How do you target them as a market?
So that is uh, so we do that through social media, through targeted ads on social media.
Mhm.
We focus a lot on giving a very premium brand experience to customers. And once you start getting the initial traction, you get a lot of word of mouth referral customers as well.
Mhm.
So, but yes, in today's day and age, it's easier to start targeting people, reaching out to them uh, through social media targeting.
Okay. Can you take us through the details? So what I'm trying to understand here is, uh, uh, people who like Italian coffee is a very niche segment, and it's very difficult to find such people from their social media bios or any such parameters. How do you go about it?
So we are not looking for people who specifically like Italian coffee. It's like asking someone. It's like, because Italian coffee itself is a very niche category. What we were looking for is people who liked great coffee. So great coffee could mean somebody who already is drinking Nespresso coffee. Nespresso is the brand of Nestle Group, which is very big in this space internationally. So a lot of Indian consumers are already drinking Nespresso coffee. We went after people who generally enjoyed fresh coffee, roasted coffee, pour over, French press style coffee, and so on. So, and then you are really telling them that, look, here is an opportunity to enjoy cafe style coffee at home. So, people who have the spending power, which today a lot of Indians are happy to indulge in premium coffee. And the fact that we are Italian is an additional plus point, that along with offering this solution, oh, by the way, our coffee happens to be from Italy, which is the home of great coffee.
Okay. Can you tell us about about a failure of yours that you have gone through as an entrepreneur.
So rather than telling you about failures, because I can't seem to think of one major failure. I'll tell you one or two major lessons that I've learned,
Sure.
which I feel are something I need to work on and do better. So one example is that, when I started out, it was a time in life where I had left the family business, and everyone had been telling me, "Oh, you're making a mistake. It's entrepreneurship is a very difficult journey," and so on. So I just wanted to start something, right? Just to give myself the confidence that I can survive through it, I can make through it. I did not have that goal how today a lot of entrepreneurs have from the beginning, that we're going to raise VC money, we're going to turn into a 50 or $100 million company in 5 years. I didn't ever think like that. And I'm not even encouraging that kind of thinking. I don't think that is the right approach. But today we are a lot more goal oriented. We have a goal, we have realistic goals, we have a realistic action plan, and we are working on that. So I think one learning that has come is that you do need realistic goals and realistic action plans. You can't just say I'm starting something and just go with the flow, right?
Speaking of realistic plans and goals, can you tell us what goal do you have as a business for next 5 to 10 years?
We eventually want to become 100 crore brand. That is a goal. How, whether that happens in 5 years or 7 or 10 years, I can't tell that for sure. I have a more aggressive goal for the next. I have a more realistic goal for the, say, next 1 year or so. But again, at this present time with COVID completely disrupting all plans and everything, you have to just say, let's get through this period. Let's survive. You know, let's. So I think right now it's difficult to be setting goals as such, but because a lot of things you can't do. I mean, for example, we want to go more aggressive in stores, but if malls are shut, if stores are shut, nobody is going to the stores. That channel gets totally closed out for you. So I think, yes, we do have a goal of a huge goal for the next 5 or 10 years, but in the short term, you just have to be nimble and go with the flow. Yeah.
What is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How do you define entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship means putting an idea from the mental sphere to the physical sphere, turning it into reality, and putting a fantastic team behind it, which is giving some kind of value to customers, which they're happy to pay for. So that's essentially the definition of entrepreneurship. And for those people who are considering getting into entrepreneurship, I would say it is very exciting, it is very satisfying, but at the same time, it is stressful. You realize you end up thinking about your work all the time. You would get sleepless nights, and yeah, it is a fun ride, and you have to be very patient. You have to be patient till results come. There will be times when you will feel frustrated, and you will feel like giving up, to be honest, but you have to take advice of people, and that's how you go forward. Decide if it works for you and doesn't work for you.
Probably this is my final question to you. Let's say you
Sure.
meet someone who is just like you, but 5 to 10 years younger than you. What would be your advice to such a person?
My advice would be, if you are thinking about entrepreneurship, stop thinking so much. Just start something today. Start something today, make those mistakes, fail if you have to. But essentially, what is failure? Failure is nothing but a great learning. I mean, you fail, but you do learn a lot in the process, right? I mean, no MBA can teach you that. No MBA can teach you what real life lessons can teach you. And even if you fail, it gives you the lessons to do a better job the next time. So if I was 5 years younger, I would have, I wished if someone would have told me that at that time, that just, if you're thinking about going into entrepreneurship, just take the plunge. What's the worst that could happen? You try something, it doesn't work out, you learn a great deal, and then you can always, if you change your mind later, you can always go back into a job. And if I have to hire someone today who has been through that experience and who has those rich learnings, I won't hesitate, because I know that that person would be a valuable addition to my team. Right.
Well, on this note, I am out of questions, and I think it was a great pleasure to host you here at DLA. Thanks for your time, Rahul, and our best
Thanks a
wishes
lot,
for
Priya.
Coffee.
Thanks a lot, Priya, for having me. And I hope uh, all the listeners would take away one or two valuable lessons from this chat. And nice meeting you and nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul.